What is going on, beautiful people of the world? My name is Garrett Wolf, and I am the host of the #1 podcast for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs. I've built my body over the last 8 years, and in the last 3 years, I've helped hundreds of online clients shred unwanted fat and embody the best version of themselves. Now, let's jump right into today's show. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Alpha Movement Podcast. This is the #1 show for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, all without giving up the most enjoyable aspects of their life. In today's episode, I want to tell you guys a little bit about my mindset going into my first ever men's physique bodybuilding competition. All right, if you guys have been following along now, I am 3.5 weeks out. Let me count up the days. Let me see, 11, 25 days out. So literally dead center, 3.5 weeks out from my first bodybuilding competition. It's getting pretty hard. We're getting down to the wire. We only got a few more weeks left to grind out. And I want to tell you guys a little bit about my mindset going into my first show, a little bit about some of the struggles I've been going through, a little bit about what I'm most excited for, because a lot of people in real life have been coming up to me and asking like, yo, dude, are you like going for the win? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? What's kind of your mindset going into it? Are you nervous, or are you scared, or are you kind of excited, or what's going on with you? So I wanted to come in here, tell you guys a little bit about me, a little bit about my mindset, and a little bit about my upcoming bodybuilding show. So if at any point during this episode you enjoy what I have to say, or you take some value from this podcast, would you please screenshot my face, share it to your Instagram stories, tag me at _Garrett Wolf, and I will reshare it to my story and send you a free gift. Other than that, guys, talking about my bodybuilding show. Let me tell you guys about how it started, and then kind of how it's ending up and how it's finishing here when we're down to the wire 3 weeks out, 3.5 weeks out actually, because every day matters. But so when I first started, I didn't really eat properly at all. You know, I've been lifting for 8 years. I've made some significant, not insane progress. I made some significant, pretty insane progress if you compare it to what I used to look like. But, you know, I haven't made disgustingly insane progress, diabolical progress. If you're curious about how like my peak strength has ever been, my highest bench is 295. That's my highest bench of all time. My highest squat of all time is 345. My highest deadlift of all time is 420. And when I did do those lifts, I was about 160, maybe 165 pounds, right? So it's pretty decent. I'm stronger than the average, gym bro. I'm stronger than all the average gym bros, but it's nothing exceptional, right? Excuse me. I can deadlift about 2.5 times my body weight. I can bench about 1.5 times. Maybe a little bit more than that. I can squat, 2 times my body weight, which is all good. It's all really, really good in comparison to a lot of other, gym bros or gym people, men that go to the gym. I'm up there, I'm up there in the strongest percentile of people, the strongest percentile of men. But this prep has made me notice a few things. The first thing I've noticed is that my diet has never been good at all. My diet has been terrible. I did If It Fits Your Macros for the longest time. I did strict calorie deficits for a long time because I was just trying to lose weight. I did, back and forths, up and downs. I would switch up my training all the time. I made a lot of mistakes. And I think with a dialed in training plan and a dialed in nutrition plan where I'm actually just not really caring about what I'm eating, but I'm actually not caring about what, but I'm not caring about how much I'm eating, but I'm actually just eating healthier foods like I am on this prep, like meats, like clean carbs that aren't full of starches and full of corn syrup and full of sugars and all this disgustingness, eating, heaping servings of vegetables to get a lot of micronutrients, a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals. These are things that I've kind of skimped out on in the past. These are things that I haven't really done. I would be eating half a Red Baron pizza for dinner. I would be eating, for breakfast, it would be a couple protein shakes. When I hopped on this prep, I was drinking 6 protein shakes a day. Literally 6 protein shakes a day to try to supplement the amount of protein that I needed in my diet because I wouldn't eat any meats. And when my coach met me and he saw that, he was like, "This is one of the most concerning red flags I've ever seen." He said word for word, "If you continue eating like this in the coming days for your prep, you will lose all your size and you will lose the competition 100%." And I said, I went to him and I said, "Why is this? I always thought that protein was equal. I thought whey protein was a great source. I thought,
1 gram of protein was 1 gram of protein no matter where you're getting it from. And he said, no, dude, there's high quality proteins and there's low quality proteins. And after a little bit of diving into this, it's sort of half true. It's sort of bro science a little bit. Whey protein is really high up there on the protein quality scale. However, with that in mind, and with the fact that he said that to me, and with the fact that I've been training 8 years and eating that way, and I haven't gotten exceptional results, we always talk about 1% progress and how it stacks up and how it really adds up throughout the years. And I think with this higher quality protein, you really are what you eat at the end of the day. And if people are taking protein out of substances and putting it into this chocolate milkshake flavored beverage, then they're really, honestly, in my opinion, in my eyes, despite the studies and despite everything I'm reading, is there's no way that that milk chocolate protein shake is as high quality as a piece of chicken, for example, or as a piece of steak, for example. There's just simply no way, because the more you move around macronutrients and the more you process things, right? Processed foods, whey protein is ultra processed because they have to take protein out of something else. They have to put it in this milkshake. They have to flavor it. They mix it all up. It is ultra processed. It is a highly processed, ultra processed, hyper palatable food. And so there's just no way, if you simply switched it up and you just ate a piece of steak, that is hardly processed. Maybe, usually steak isn't even frozen. It's refrigerated. It was cut up a week before. It's barely processed. The only process it went through was getting cut up. Then they fucking put it in a little baggie and they put it on the shelf. And so that's one of the main things I've learned in this prep, and that's one of the main things I'm excited for when coming off this prep is I'm going to go on a massive bulk, dude, of eating just healthier foods, a disgusting amount of vegetables, a disgusting amount of meat, because it's something I've missed my whole life. If you guys didn't know, I was vegetarian for 16 years of my life. I was not eating any meats. I was barely eating any high quality sources of protein. And I've missed out on that for the vast majority of my life. And so I'm going to start eating that way after this prep. I'm going to start eating a shit ton. I'm going to bulk up after I reverse diet, obviously, because if I did go right into it, right into the bulk, I would gain a shit ton of weight and I would have the metabolism of a 150-pound man, and I would be like 170 pounds, which is just not good. So I need to reverse diet, which means just adding 100 calories onto my diet each week until my metabolism, can catch up and I won't end up gaining a shit ton of body fat. I'll gain some weight. I'll replenish my cells, but I won't end up with the metabolism of a 150-pound man being 170 pounds. If I reverse diet and go about it slowly and keep my body adapting, because your body is an adaptation machine, eventually I will have the metabolism of a 170-pound man and I will be 170 pounds, which is really, really exciting. So I can't wait to do that. And I cannot wait to go back to the full body lift, squat, bench, and deadlift, because on this prep, I've been watching my weight just go down and down and down. I was literally benching 225 for sets of 10, like 4 sets of 10 before this prep. Now I'm benching like 185 for sets of 8 on this prep, which is highly depressing, incredibly depressing, right? And so the point of that story is the prep was kind of difficult at first because I had to introduce all these foods, right? I introduced this cream of rice, which I did not like at first. Now I fucking love it. It's crazy. The longer you diet, the better food tastes. It's absolutely insane. You should try it. You really should try going in a deficit for a long period of time because it brings back the appreciation you have for food. But in any case, I wasn't eating any meats. I had to eat all this chicken breast, right? I ate like a packet of chicken, like a pound of chicken a day. And so I wasn't able to eat it at first. So I had to cut it up into small pill-like size bites and I would put it in my mouth and I would just swallow it like a pill at first, right? And that was disgusting when I was about 12 weeks out. And then around the 8-week mark, it got a lot easier. I was eating these foods, I was dropping weight, it was absolutely fine. Then around the 5-week mark, I hit a plateau in my weight loss. And I had to dial the calories back even further. And this is when shit got a lot harder because I started getting hungrier and hungrier. I was eating my food. I was eating these heaping servings of vegetables, these large portions of meats, and I would still be hungry. I've never experienced something like this where you stuff yourself full of food, like you're stuffed, you're bloated as fuck, you have a huge belly, but you're still hungry. It's absolutely crazy. This is a new sensation that I've never experienced in my life is I'm hungry at all moments throughout the day. And like 50 to 60% of my thoughts are about food. Like I remember last night I was on the call with all my friends at about midnight. I was on a Discord call with a bunch of homies and I was just like, guys, like I need to go to bed because I need to get closer to my breakfast meal. Like I'm fucking starving. And they were like, "What, dude? You need like willpower. You need to have the willpower, right? All this bro shit." And I'm like, Yeah, dude, willpower is one thing, but I'm fucking starving, dude. Like, you can only have so much willpower until your body, like, takes over, right? My body, again, it got harder around week 5. I started waking up 2 to 3 times throughout the night because I was hungry and because I had to piss because I've been drinking so much water. So I'd wake up, have to piss, and I'd be starving, and it'd be so hard to go back to sleep. And it's just like I've never experienced hunger to that level. I experienced hunger pretty hard back when I was doing hit workouts in my basement when I first started training around 14 years old, and I was on a 1,200, 1,100 calorie diet every single day. Those hunger pains were tough, but something about those hunger pains were not as hard as it is now. Like, I have to sustain my muscle now. I'm thinking about all this shit. I'm running multiple businesses by myself. I'm working out all the fucking time. It's not just silly little hit workouts in my basement. And I'm on 1,975 calories a day. And so it's pretty hard. It's getting down to the wire. And I even made a podcast a couple weeks ago about how I've forced myself into a position where I can't quit. And I would quit if it was up to me. I would quit right now and I'd go eat a fucking Five Guys burgers and fries fucking quarter pound cheeseburger with fucking bacon and shit, or I'd go get a Big Mac, which I've never had, but I want to try, frankly, mind you. But I can't quit. I cannot quit because here's the thing, the pain of the hunger is one thing, but the pain of telling everyone that I can't do the show because I'm a wimp, or the pain of telling everyone that the hunger was too much and I can't do this bodybuilding show that I've signed up for, or the pain of investing in my flights, my hotel, my coach, of losing all that money, that pain, that pain right there is a lot worse than these measly hunger pains that I have to face for these next 3 weeks. And so it's hard, man. It's tough. This is my first ever bodybuilding competition, and it is down to the wire. It is tough. I'm most excited to eat IHOP the morning of my show and destroy some Tres Leches pancakes and absolutely abolish a fucking giant side order of bacon. And then I can't wait till the show's over, and then I get to go out and eat a nice dinner. I'm gonna get a steak, probably based in butter, or maybe probably a cheeseburger, to be honest, a fucking cheeseburger with a nice milkshake on the side, and I'm just gonna have a one fat ass cheat day, right? One huge cheat day, and then I'm gonna reverse diet my way back up and start bulking. I'm also excited for my energy to come back. Another thing I've been experiencing is I'm usually animalistic when it comes to the gym. Like, I go to the gym crazy motivated. I just want to absolutely pounce on the weights and fucking PR and hit weights and hit the weights heavy and fucking get my form right, warm up, loosen up. But now 3 weeks out, when I get to the gym, I just want to leave, man. I just want to leave. I don't even want to go at all. I don't want to go to the gym whatsoever. And this is something new I've been experiencing because usually that is not the case. For the last 8 years, I've been incredibly motivated to go to the gym. I've wanted to go to the gym every single day. It's like my favorite part of the day. But then now in this prep, it's like my least favorite part of the day. I absolutely dread going to the gym every single day. And I just can't stand it, dude. It sucks. It honestly sucks. It's not fun. If I had to live like this for the rest of my life, I wouldn't be a lifter anymore. Like, it's not fun. It completely takes the motivation out of my life. And that's probably due to the decreasing testosterone, right? Because testosterone is one of the most motivating driving hormones in our body. And if my testosterone is going down due to my body fat levels being so low, it's no wonder why my motivation is at an all time low. And so that's something that I've been experiencing as well. As far as my mindset going into the show, I 100%, usually I'm all about it, right? Usually I'm about delusional optimism, but something about delusional optimism that I don't mention sometimes, or that I fail to mention sometimes, is when you set high expectations and you don't reach them, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And I don't want to set myself up for disappointment. And looking at all things realistically and not delusionally optimistically, this is my first ever bodybuilding show and it's 100% untested. And I'm going to Alpha Land competing against a ton of other influencers who have been training their whole lives, who could or could not be on PEDs, who could be on SARMs, who could be on performance enhancing drugs. And I'm going in natty as fuck. I'm going in at 150 pounds, natty as fuck, just raw, right? Just raw. And it goes by height. It goes by height, not weight, if you didn't know that about men's physique. So for all I know, dude, there could be some 5'9" motherfucker coming in at 200 pounds, shredded as shit, been on roids for 5 years, and is just lean and disgustingly muscular and has the symmetry of an absolute god. And he could crush me, right? So I'm not going in there expecting to win because it's my first ever show. I don't know what to expect, frankly. And so it really depends on who shows up. So I'm just going in competing against myself. I mean, this prep has already been one of the one of the greatest things to happen to me in my life because I'm in so much positive momentum. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And so being this dialed, measuring all my food, making sure I weigh myself every day, hitting the workouts, hitting the walks, hitting the water intake, hitting everything, the supplements, everything I need to take, it is making me just a better person. It's making me a better man. It's making me a more disciplined man. It's making me crush my goals. It prompted me to start this podcast. It prompted me to start posting all over social 6 times a day, over and over and over again. We're about to hit 1,000 posts on IG today, motherfucker. That's super exciting. On YouTube, we went from about 300 subs to 800 subs over this prep, which is crazy. So everything is just blowing up because of this show. Honestly, nothing could have probably happened the same that it did without this competition. And so I'm just super fucking excited to hop on stage to get a competition underneath my belt. You know, I can call myself a true competitor, a bodybuilder, because I hate calling myself a bodybuilder when I don't do any bodybuilding competitions because, you know, you're kind of just an amateur, right? And this is amateur bodybuilding we are talking about. But even so, when you're an amateur and you don't compete, you're not really a bodybuilder. And so I'm excited to have that title of just being a bodybuilder. You know, I've competed. I know what it takes to cut down to sub, 1%, not 1%, to sub single digit percent body fat. I know what it takes. I know what it feels like. And this is going to aid me in any kind of cutting that I do in the future. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to learn about all this stuff. I'm excited to step on stage and I'm excited to, whatever I place. Even if I place last, that would be kind of ass if I place last. But even if I did, it gives me some sort of reference point if I ever do want to hop on stage again. What I think I'm going to do after the show is bulk for a long period of time, not really care about what I look like, but give a fuck about the strength, give a fuck about my appetite, my diet, how much I'm actually eating, how much I'm feeling satiated, feeling full, because I have this kind of hold, this hunger, this desire for eating tasty foods now because I've missed out on them for a long portion of my life. And I really just want to go to restaurants and try different foods and try different food selections. And I want to just get massive. I want to get strong. I want to pack on a bunch of muscle. I want to maybe hit 200 pounds. The most I've ever hit is 195. And I'm thinking that maybe I can get it all the way up there to 200 pounds. So I'm excited. That's kind of my expectations for the show. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I hope you got some value from this podcast. If you did at any point enjoy what I had to say, please screenshot my face, share it to your Instagram stories, tag me at _Garrett Wolf, and I will reshare it to my story and I will send you a free gift. Other than that, guys, I hope you all have a fantastic day and I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace, guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hopefully you got some value. If you did get value and you want to learn a little bit more about how you can go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, just head over to my Instagram at _Garrett Wolf, DM me the word six-pack, and I'll reach out to you and see if I can help. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace.